I'm Caren Harp. I'm the administrator at OJJDP, and I just couldn't be happier to see you all here. It's been a year, and I can't believe it's been a year. But since Baltimore, we were all together in Baltimore, and we're back now, and this has been a big year. I think it's been a big year for y'all. I know it's been a big year for us, and I want to go through some of the things that have happened and changed, and how we're going to use all those things to propel us forward. First thing, you have some gifts. Your first gift is the lovely blue book. It's the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act reauthorization of 2018. You're going to need this. This is just simply the act with tabs in it that we think you'll find helpful to find provisions in the act that you're going to need to do your work. It's the clean, simple version. I live with mine. Every TSA agent in the country who has gone through my luggage has found this thing in there, and I ought to leave them messages. It's marked up and cluttered up and stuffed with notes, and if you do this work, you're going to live with this book. You also have the Redline version of the Act. For some of you who have been at this for a really long time, you'll want to see what exactly changed in the Act, what language has been eliminated, and what language has been added. This is the Redline version. It's a little thicker, takes a little more space to write all that down, but this is also enormously helpful, I think, as you are doing this work, because you know the old Act is going to have to apply to 2019 and prior year's money. So you can find what the old provisions were in this, as well as what it's changed to for fiscal 2020 and forward. You're going to need to keep both of them with you for a while. This document called, what it's called now, used to be called the guidance manual. Now it's called an overview of statutory and regulatory requirements for monitoring facilities for compliance with the deinstitutionalization of status offenders, separation, and jail removal provisions of the JJDPA. Here it is. The folks, yeah, I know. See? Now, that's right. The folks in the Justice Department, God bless them, everybody higher up the chain than us, which believe me, there's plenty. Some of them were new faces for us, and they were not familiar with the tool or the process. And I went to talk to them again, let everybody know what the issue was and how much we needed this. And they moved it. They just moved heaven and earth and got that thing through the gears, the grinding gears of bureaucracy, and out the door Friday morning. And Catherine Doyle and folks at JJ just scrambled around, made 200 copies of it, assembled it, got it shipped out here yesterday so we could have it for you. I'm thrilled that this is now in your hands, and hopefully it can provide some guidance for working through the Act, and it can provide, ultimately, a common language, I think, for you to work with your SRAD folks about as you're working through compliance, all the compliance monitoring that you do. So we are thrilled to provide this to you. I think tomorrow, Julie Hare is going to demonstrate the compliance monitoring tool. Is that correct? We now have that up and online, and so a way for you to submit all of your data electronically. Julie's going to go through all of that. We are thrilled to have that up and running. We have a brand new website up and running. And Jill Moulter, who is our fabulous website designer and website content person, is going to be here to work you through that, because she's going to show you where your state pages are and what information from your states is available on your state page and will continue to be added to your state page. That's where you're going to find your state plans, you're going to find your DMC data, you're going to find all of that. It's on our new site. It's up, it's running. Information about Title II and the states should be really easy to locate from this point going forward, and we are thrilled about that. We have a lot of guests with us for this conference that we haven't had in the past. I want to tell you a little bit about it, a little bit about them. Part of the JJRA, you know, we've had the JJRA update. It passed in December of 2018. And I know there's been a lot of misinformation out there about the burdens and the problems and the difficulties that it's going to pose for, stop it, the states. And I'm telling you, having read it and read it and read it and read it, and being responsible, again, I think the difference is OJJDP is responsible for implementing this thing. We read it with an eye to detail and what, to really figure out what authority do we have, what obligations does it create, what does the language actually say as opposed to maybe what people think it ought to say. Those are big distinctions to make, and so we've read it and read it and read it. And I think the good news is for states that it is not going to be nearly as onerous for you as what you might have been led to believe. I think we're going to be able to help you find ways to implement this act in your states that isn't going to change practice as drastically as maybe you think. Part of the reason for that is that it's been 16 years since the last reauthorization. Legislation moves slowly, but practice evolves rather quickly, right? Practice can evolve in response to whatever is happening in the field. A lot of these suggestions or things you have to have in your new state plans, so much of it is stuff that you all are already doing. In a lot of ways, the Act is just catching up to the good practice you all are already engaged in. So I don't think it's going to be as disruptive or disorienting as anybody is thinking. But one of the things that the Act requires is a lot of audits of OJJDP, which, so you'll know, I love. I firmly embrace the audit process. It is so helpful to practice. It just, you know, I know it's painful at the time, kind of like you're walking backwards through a wood chipper. It's awful. But yet at the same time, it is so informative and so helpful to actually see what's happening from an objective set of eyes. I embrace the audit process. I really like it. And we have here Greta Goodwin, who's going to introduce herself a little bit later this morning, from the Government Accounting Office. And she is in charge of a pretty comprehensive audit of OJJDP, including Title II. And she's here to talk with you about that process and how it's now kind of going to take place over 2 years. And she's going to talk with you about you all participating or providing information, that kind of thing. And all I can tell you is I encourage you to do it. All right, so we have some other folks here. We have other federal partners here that are going to be providing you, we hope, resources that you are not aware of that are out there that can help you with your work. We have folks from Health and Human Services here to give you a presentation. We have folks from the Department of Education here to give you lots of great information about Title I Part D and the Title I Part D coordinator in your state. And I'm going to encourage you to ask that person to serve on every SAG in the country. We need that representative there. You need that kind of connection with DOE going forward. We have Betty Ann Bryce from the Office of National Drug Control Policy, but she's actually on detail from USDA, and she's going to help just have a tremendous amount of information for rural jurisdictions to realize the resources that are out there, the problems that they're having, and how we might serve the incredibly rural, geographically challenged, infrastructure challenged areas of our states that need help. Betty Ann Bryce is going to be just amazing. I think you'll really enjoy her. All right, let's see. So that's all coming up today. We'll have small groups. I think all of that is tomorrow. Later this afternoon, Julie and I and Tina, no, Julie and I are going to talk about the effective monitoring system and the youth waiver and transfer. This is your opportunity. One of the things, provisions of the Act requires us or encourages us, OJJDP, to work with the states to figure out how best to implement this Act, right? I mean, fantastic language. We need your input to help us determine, are the decisions we are about to make, are those going to be helpful to you? Are they going to be harmful? Are they practical? Are they, what unintended consequences do they have that, we just haven't thought of? So those two sessions around effective monitoring universe and our plan for the waiver and transfer provision, we really need your input. I don't want you to hold back. I don't want you to be shy. You just need to tell us what you think about these things. All right, one other group that's here, I forgot, I'm sorry. You see their name badges, their tent cards lined up here on the table. That's the FACJ, the Federal Advisory Committee on Juvenile Justice. I don't know that we've ever had FACJ members at a SRAD training, but I want that to happen. They're going to introduce themselves and tell you, so you'll know, they are all members of SAGs in their states, right? They're kind of your national representatives, and I want you all to know who they are and see their faces and talk to them. While you're meeting tomorrow, the FACJ, the full FACJ, will be meeting, having its public meeting in another room and going about the business of the FACJ. So we thought, well, let's just get everybody together. But they're here, they'll be here, you can talk to them, interact with them, share your concerns. Please engage with them because their job is to advise OJJDP. And one of the things, they'll tell you what their jobs are, their subcommittee groups and what they're working on. But some of it is how to implement, how to understand, interpret, and implement the JJRA. So this is just a great interface for you, and I hope that you'll take advantage of that. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, y'all. What have I forgotten? Anything? We updated the compliance policy. We should have had a little ceremony when we did that. I'd have remembered that. I signed that. That was exciting. We updated the compliance policy, and I think we've included that in your materials as well. We have been working at JJ. We really have, and we're excited about this update, the JJ, not the update, the reauth. We're excited about the opportunities it's going to present. All right, I think that's about it. We're about to move on to something far more interesting. We are about to move on to our FACJ panel. We are about to meet members, not all of them, but a significant number of members of our Federal Advisory Committee on Juvenile Justice. They came a day early just for the opportunity to participate with you and hear from you and interact with you, and I'm so grateful for their work. They're doing amazing things, by the way. I think we're going to see some great input from them.